So I wonder if this is going to work first time. I haven't done a live stream for I think more than a year now, so this is all a bit new to me. So I do apologize in advance if things don't work out, but let's see if anybody joins. Okay, so we've got Pete on, we've got Derek, we have Jack Hunter. Guys, so for the people I've just joined, do let me know that the audio is okay, the picture is okay, you can see the chat messages. Hey, Uja, how's it going, man? In fact, let's get the ball rolling. Why don't you guys tell me where you're watching from? Let's just see in real time how far and wide the TDUK family goes. Oh, just so many familiar names in here. We have Sharon. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Pocket Change. Man, you guys are coming in thick and fast. I tried to enable the slow chat, but it looks like it may be hard to control. So we have William Evans all the way from Jamaica. We have Loyal Vasquez from Buffalo, NY. We have good old Razor from Southport, UK. Jason from Devon. We have Shrinking Sharon. We have Katrina. It really is nice to see so many familiar names. I mean, I know you must think that, with over 250 subscribers, 250,000 subscribers, it may be hard to keep track of who's who, but honestly, I do recognize the names in the comments, the regular ones, the ones that always comment on my videos. I do appreciate it. So when I see your names in the chat, it's very nice to see. So I appreciate you guys taking time out, especially on a Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Hey Jack, hey Mel, Scotty from Buckinghamshire. We have Tanya from Virginia. Just so many familiar names. So let me apologize if I can't say hello to all of you, but I do appreciate you joining. And the purpose of this live stream was firstly just to engage with you, to talk to you, to find out how everybody is, but at the same time to let you know that on my second channel, which is the Tech Doctor UK Extra channel, this will be the place where I will be conducting these live streams, maybe once a week, depending on how successful they are. And this way, you guys can ask me questions in real time. I can ask you questions in real time as well. And this way, we can collaborate, we can understand, we can discuss things, and really just grow as a community, which I really appreciate. So, happy holidays to everybody. Appreciate the time of the year. So let's start. So appreciate you guys letting me know where you're watching from. Let's just kick the ball, or let's just start the ball rolling. Why don't you tell me your current streaming device of choice? Is it a Firestick? Is it an NVIDIA Shield or a Chromecast? Let's just see in terms of popularity what most of you guys are currently using as your main daily driver. So your main streaming device. Please let me know in the comments what you're using. Hey, we got Yeah, I think Jason knows what's what. Which I will get to in just a second, because as you guys know, let me just say hello to Gerard from all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. Happy holidays. All right, so we can see lots and lots of NVIDIA shields. We got a Fire Stick here. We have the first Chromecast with Google TV. Thank you, Sharon, for this reminder. Appreciate that. Okay, so we have some Fire Cubes, Fire Sticks on all 7 TVs. So clearly that's a big fan of the Fire Stick. We have Scotty with his shield. We have Cube and shield. All right, so we have Jay with his shield and Chromecast. So I think it's fair to say that Firestick is still definitely one of the most popular devices, not only because of the price point, around about 40 or 50 pounds, depending on the time of the year, but just the fact that, your device does regularly get those updates. You can watch Netflix in 4K, Prime Video in 4K. So for somebody that's looking for that reliability, and for somebody that does use those official streaming applications, I still think that Fire Stick 4K doesn't necessarily have to be the 4K max, but it really is a solid device. Okay, so wow, so lots of Fire Sticks. So Dorian says that they use their Fire Stick Max, it's debloated, never updated with a new interface. I'm actually doing a new video on that, on the updated TDUK system update blocker tool, which will be coming out on my extra channel. Greetings, Michael. Then we've got 4K Max. That must be the Fire Stick. Fire Stick. Shield. BlueStacks. I like it. There's something a little bit out of the box. So we have somebody using BlueStacks, which is a great Android emulator. So if you do want to run your favorite streaming applications or your Android apps on your PC or your Mac, you can always install BlueStacks. Just so many comments here. So we have Buck is still rocking the Shield, but the on box. Okay, so I've seen that small box from Walmart, which is just $20. I mean, again, for something that costs $20 and it does give you those Netflix certifications and you can watch those things in 4K. I mean, at that price point, it's a great buy. All right, so lots of different devices. Yeah, I can't see anybody with an Apple TV, so clearly Apple is not very popular. And probably the main thing is, I mean, this is something that people always ask me regarding the Roku devices, that yes, the Roku devices are very easy to use, but because you're very limited, because there's no option to really sideload any application, it's why they're not really popular in the cord cutting community or from the people that like to sideload applications. All right, so guys, I don't want to waste anybody's time, so do feel free to ask any questions that you have regarding streaming or applications or Real Debrid or Now TV. I mean, I just said Now TV because I think I just saw a question on Now TV, but any question on those things or any technical questions, do leave a comment and I'll try my best to answer them. If not, maybe you guys can jump in and answer them as well. So starting with this one here. So the question is, how can you get Now TV on the Shield? Now, as far as I know, there is an official application for your Amazon devices, but there's nothing specific for the Shield or Android TVs. Now, I did see somewhere that if you load the mobile version of the application, that does work. But do try that out. Let me know. Or if anybody else knows about Now TV, do leave a comment. Okay, so next we have, I use BTV. Do I need to use a VPN? If I use Rudabrid, do I need to use a VPN? Now, this is also a very common question, or certainly the latter part is, and I'll answer that first because I think more people will probably be interested in that. And the question is, if you do use Real Debrid, do you need to use a VPN? Now, I'm a big Real Debrid user for downloading content, for streaming content when I want to do that. Not that I do that a lot, but if I want to do that, that's what I use. And in no cases have I ever used a VPN with Real Debrid. And the reason for that is because Real Debrid, if you do want to download a torrent, for example, because either they've cached that torrent already, which means they already have that on their servers. Alternatively, if you want them to download a new torrent, because they're doing all of that legwork, all of that processing, all of that P2P traffic is only on the Real Debrid side, not on your machine, not on your client. I really can't see any real benefit of using a VPN in that particular scenario. Now, just for completeness, I know if you look through the Real Debrid's privacy policy, that they do say that they do keep a record of IP addresses and what people are downloading for, I think it's 12 months. But really, I mean, there's been no cases ever historically where Real Debrid had to give up some customer data or anything like that. So in that example, I personally would say I don't think there's any reason to use Real Debrid, use a VPN when using Real Debrid. Now, for the BTV application or any of these third-party applications, I think that really does depend on your location, your country, because laws are different in different places. So I don't want to be offering legal advice, but in most cases that I've heard, for people that just stream content, they normally don't use a VPN unless they want to hide what they're doing from their ISP. So if that is something that you are worried about, then use a VPN. If you're not bothered, if your ISP, more importantly, is not bothered, then don't worry about it. All right. So, what are the best rule? I mean, pretty much all of the major or mainstream third-party applications support real Bridge. So really, you can just Google online or go to, I think it's APK Time or one of these other popular applications, and pretty much all of the main streaming ones on there will allow you to use real Bridge. I appreciate that. So, welcome to the channel. Jason saying, I bought a Fire TV Cube second gen, but they seem to have issues with Wi-Fi. I mean, I've also got the second generation Fire TV Cube, and I've personally not had any issues with my device. With anything with Wi-Fi related, I mean, there are just so many factors. How far is your device? How many other devices are you using on the same band? Are you using 2.4 gigahertz? Are you using 5 gigahertz? There's just too many factors, which is probably why lots of people do prefer to use wide instead of wireless. But maybe try changing the channel on your router or router and see if that helps. Then we have a question from Eric. Do I know if Deaf Squid will be adding a search feature? I'm not sure if he will be, but I am in direct contact with the developer and I can ask him that. The great thing is he's very, very responsive and he really does want to make this work. So all of your previous suggestions, the stuff that you guys have come back with, mostly bug fixes and issues that you've discovered, he's quickly fixed them on the application and quickly released an update. So he has done some really good work. So this is a question from Chris. I have the 4K Max which has Wi-Fi 6. Is it worth getting a Wi-Fi 6 router to use? I mean, it really depends on your what your internet speed is. So if your max internet speed is only 200 meg or 300 meg, then getting Wi-Fi 6 is not going to make any difference. It's not really going to help you out. So Wi-Fi 6 really comes into play when you want to max out your internet. But in most cases, if you only have like 100 or 200 meg, then it's not really going to make a difference right now. So I purposely, I wouldn't specifically buy a new Wi-Fi 6 router just for the Firestick Max. Katrina said I couldn't get 9 now. So I did actually put the application on my website. The reason why you may not be able to find it in your application store is because it is designed for the Australian audience. It's not going to be in the UK store. It's not going to be in the USA store. Now, I think in the last video, there was a few comments where people were saying, they're getting errors regarding, the location or the application can't start any videos. And the reason for that is I did try my best to make it clear, but without saying specifically that YouTube right now are clamping down on any kind of videos which focus on, bypassing restrictions or bypassing payment, or really just any kind of circumvention is something that they're really clamping down on. So it's already hard enough to make videos as it is, and staying within those boundaries. But the latest change seems to be that if you say that, uses VPN to access this application, they really seem to frown upon it. So the best I can do is when I do make these videos, if the application, only works with the USA IP address, I will just say it like that. So you won't see me using my VPN and changing the location to USA, but at the start of the video, I'll just say that this application is designed for the USA audience. So make sure you are in USA or you have a USA IP address. So just bear that in mind. And when I'm making future videos, look out for those kind of comments. So Benjamin says, what are your thoughts on Real Bridge? I mean, Real Bridge is one of those things where if you've never tried it, you really are missing out. And it's one of those things where maybe, if you're somebody that's always streamed via, free methods their whole lives, then you think, why am I going to spend any money? Because I want everything to be free. And that is fair enough. But I'm just saying that for the price point, for a few dollars a month, the quality of those links, the speed of those links, the high bit rate of the content, you just cannot find that on free servers. And things like buffering, because on these free servers you have tens and thousands of people all trying to stream from these free servers, which is why typically in those free applications you see that buffering. Whereas when you use Rodabrid, because those are premium servers, they don't have as many users, and more importantly, they have a lot more bandwidth, a lot more resources. I've never really seen any kind of buffering when using Rodabrid. So I highly recommend, if third-party streaming is your game or your cup of tea, you definitely want to give Rodabrid a go. And the great thing is you can try it for a month. If you don't like it, you can cancel it. But I've never met anybody that tried Rodabrid and thought, you know what, this is no good. I think Patrick, one of my channel members, recently tried it for the first time, and well, Patrick can tell you in the comments, but as far as I know, he was completely blown away. Is a Firestick Max worth, if you already have? That's a great question. And my quick answer to that is no. So you're not going to be getting any massive upgrade or anything like that. If you don't have any Firestick at the moment, or you're looking to get into the Amazon ecosystem, I definitely recommend buy the Firestick Max, because it is the latest device. It does run Fire OS 7, which means you do get all of the benefits of easy expandable storage. It does have the Wi-Fi 6 if that's what you're into in the future. But being the latest device, that's the one I recommend. If you already have the 4K Fire Stick, then you're not getting any real massive upgrade by purchasing that. So, I mean, yes, if you want to buy it for a second room or as a backup device, but don't think you're getting a massive upgrade. What's the best Android sticks for? So Luna, it is the Amazon cloud game streaming service, but unfortunately it's not available in the UK. So I don't want to answer a question where I'm not fully educated in that. So I'll leave that for somebody else in the comments to answer. Just so many questions. But I do appreciate your time, guys. So thanks for joining. Thanks for answering questions. And if you know and answered any of these questions in the chat, please do jump in. So the ones I've used personally are NordVPN, Ipvanish, and most recently Ivacy. I know Ivacy gets a lot of hate, but I mean, I think for $1 a month, I think it's still a pretty good offer. And so far, in terms of unlocking, they've definitely been the best unlocking content for me that I've seen. Because, and I think the reason for that is because they're not very popular, because those servers are not as busy as the Nord servers or the Ipvanish servers. They haven't been as thoroughly blocked as some of the more popular VPN providers. So I do think they're worthwhile checking out. Okay, so Richie says, which VPN working Redbox in demand? So the one I used in my video was Ipvanish. So I don't know if you've tried that one already. Question for Mike: is unlinked still the best option for? I mean, it depends on your technical level. So some people just want the easiest option. So you can use things like unlinked or file synced, which means that you can just install one application and then access people's stores and download all the applications that you want. If you're a bit more technically inclined and you want to do things yourself, then I highly recommend using ADB Link, which is a free application. I have covered that before, I think last year, but that application really makes the whole process of sideloading applications really easy, and it works great across all of your Amazon devices and also your Android TVs. Oh God, just so many questions. I just want to stop everybody to say a big shout out to Tim Windsor. I mean, this is a guy that is constantly commenting on all of my videos, always hits a thumbs up. Don't think that I don't know you people that are doing that. So I really do appreciate your support, and it's nice to see you on here, Tim. So we got another question here. So that should be coming out soon. I'm still working on that, testing out those channels, making sure that things work okay. Yeah, I'll have to come back to you on that one. Just trying to swipe through the different questions. Hey, Dennis, nice to see one of my channel members in the chat. So on Windows, I personally use VLC, but on my Android devices, I do prefer MX Player. I use Fast Killer. Do I need to use the... I mean, they're two completely separate things. So the Fast Task Killer, as the name implies, the purpose of the application is to kill your background tasks. So any application they can find running in the background, it quickly terminates that task. And the benefit of that is if you are about to start your streaming session or you're about to start your movie night, it's recommended to just quickly run the Fast Task Killer, flush out all of your background applications as much as possible, and then start that. Whereas the debloat toolbox is more of a permanent solution, permanent in the sense that you can choose services or processes that you're not using, like maybe Prime Video or maybe the A word, these things that you're not using on your device. You can tick those boxes, click on apply, and the toolbox will go ahead and disable those services. Now, what that means is even when you reboot your device, those things stay permanently disabled. So that's more of a permanent thing where you can choose things that you don't want running in the background. Whereas a fast task killer is more just for the here and now, quickly, stop things running. Okay, so thank you, Pocket Change, for that. So they use Express, set it to Perth, and that worked for them for 9 now. I mean, that's a great point, and I don't want to start getting into politics and stuff, but let me just give you my take on it, which is nothing groundbreaking. But the way I see it is, ultimately, YouTube is a business. They're not here to make friends. They're not here to do the right thing. They're here to make money. And who makes the money? It's the advertisers. So the advertisers that advertise on their platform, they're the ones that pay YouTube the big bucks. So whatever happens, YouTube needs to ensure that the advertisers are happy. So it doesn't matter if me as a creator is happy or anybody else is happy. It's just the advertisers. Now, back in the day, before these demonetization things came out, pretty much anything was suitable for YouTube and anything was suitable for adverts. But you can imagine then advertisers said that they were not happy. Why are the adverts being shown on videos that tell you how to, I don't know, watch free TV or something, or how to hack your neighbor's Wi-Fi, or how to beat somebody up? Stuff that's potentially seen as unsuitable. So because of that, then YouTube created these new guidelines which say that basically the content has to meet these guidelines, and this way that the advertisers can ensure that their adverts won't be shown on anything which could be deemed as inappropriate. And as time progresses, guys, the content is just going to get, should we just say, more and more filtered on what can be allowed on YouTube. And it is a tough thing. It is one of those things where you have to just try your best to stay within the guidelines and hope that they don't just delete your videos, give you strikes, or unfortunately even shut down your channel. So here we have a question from Wolfgang. He bought a new Fire TV Cube on Black Friday. Now that so Wolf Launch definitely works on the Fire TV Cube. Just double check to make sure that you are using the latest version of Launcher Manager and the Wolf launcher, and make sure you're not installing them to your USB drive. I think that's probably the most common issue with people and their launcher. I mean, I regularly see comments where people say, why does my launcher keep changing back to the default Amazon launcher? And that's because they've installed their custom launcher onto the USB drive. So that's a big no-no and can cause lots of issues at other times. So make sure you always install your custom launcher on your internal storage. Okay, so going through the list here. I just want to stop and say, hey. Nice to see you on here, Lisha. So lots of familiar faces on here. What's the best file manager to locate? So for me personally, I really like Me Explorer, but also Explore from the Amazon App Store is also a great alternative. Both will allow you to navigate your file system, check what's on there, delete files. and more. So if you're looking for a great way to manage your file system, I definitely recommend Me Explorer or Explore. So this application, not many people know about it, and I can't really cover it on my channel, but it really is a great alternative if you are looking for something that's reliable. It's been around for some time, and if you don't mind using torrents, it's a great option. So if you are looking for high quality, high bitrate content, the application is definitely worthwhile checking out. How do you use the Now, the button map application requires or uses the accessibility services. Now, unfortunately, with the last, or I think few updates ago on the Amazon devices, those services are blocked for third-party applications. So in short, you can't map your own buttons, but what you can do is you can customize it using the AFTV button remapper software, which means you can substitute. So when you click on the YouTube button, for example, you can make it launch something else, but it's not as slick as the original way, but it will allow you to remap those buttons to a few other applications. But for example, you can't use it to start a custom launcher. Yep, 100% agree with you there. So unfortunately, with the Fire OS 5 devices, as there's no reliable way of using a custom launcher, we can say not much is happening on that side in terms of development. But my developer Sween Wolf is always looking for the next fix. So if he can find it, I'll definitely will share it with you guys. I mean, you think this is a joke, but hey, Donald, nice to see you on here. But this is not a joke. So I know Tanya from Fire TV Sticks has recently got a strike on her channel for Pluto TV. I mean, the, I mean, I'm lost for words. I mean, how bad can the automation be? I mean, it's two parts. So firstly, the automation is bad because it sees somebody saying, "Oh, free TV, free movies," on Pluto TV, which is completely legal. But because they pick up those keywords or maybe see certain things in the title, they automatically delete your video and give you a strike. Then the appeal process happens where you reach out to Team YouTube or you maybe contact creator support saying, you guys have made a mistake. This is completely legal. This should not be removed. Then you wait for a few days and then you get some ridiculous news saying, yeah, guys, we've double checked the video and our decision stands. This is harmful and dangerous and it's not allowed on YouTube. It's just honestly, it really is an endless battle and people can very easily lose their channels. So it's very unfortunate. There you go. So I mean, this is not scripted, but I'm just saying, if you haven't tried RD, give it a go. Let me know. I'm sure you'll be impressed. I mean, these guys, these Superbox guys, have reached out to me about 5 times now, asking for a video. But to be honest, I just don't feel comfortable making a video on something like this because not just because of the content, but more because they keep promising that you're buying a lifetime subscription, but there's no guarantee that they're going to be around even next week or let alone next month or next year. So I personally think I don't think it's worth the risk. I mean, if you want to try it out, I'm sure you'll see other YouTubers talking about it. So if it looks good for you, give it a go. But I personally don't think it's worthwhile taking the risk because there's no guarantee they're going to be here tomorrow. Yep, this is it. Because as with anything, you can't compare free to premium. So one is a free server which has free content. The whole world and their dog are trying to access that free server. So you can imagine in terms of buffering, contention, how overloaded that's going to be, versus a premium server where only the people that have paid money can access it. So it just makes sense. Yep, no, I appreciate that. So if anybody can help out with any questions that are being asked, please, feel free to jump in. So this is an alternative. I know there's Orderbrid, there's also Premierize, but because I haven't tried them myself, I can't comment. But if they work in the same manner, then I guess they could also, be good. Uh, I mean, so the Google TV device, the Chromecast with Google TV, really was something that I wanted to work, and not because I was bored of the Fire Stick, but it's always good to have more options. So here was a small device, fairly compact, had good specs, was running Android TV, so things like expanding storage was very easy. It's just a lot more unlocked than the Fire OS device. Now the trouble is maybe because it was their first device, it just has too many bugs. I know they've released an update recently addressing some of those bugs, but I personally haven't turned mine on for months now, just because it was crashing a lot. It was, the home interface was buggy. I wasn't using a custom launcher, and it just didn't give me much confidence in using it. Now, whereas when you compare that with the Fire Stick, because they've been around for years, so you have years of time to do bug fixing, to take feedback, to iron out all of those issues, and what you end up with is a very solid and reliable device. So that way, I would easily recommend a Fire Stick over the Chromecast. Uh, Okay, so I think Pete's talking about my recent video on how you can change your or how you can increase or improve your VPN speed. So one of the things I said was you can change your protocol to use TCP instead of UDP. And I also said that try and changing the port. So if there's no port setting available, then you can't unfortunately do that. But changing it to TCP should definitely help out with performance. Uh, can you take out? Okay, so this is something that I haven't actually used myself, so I can't comment on that. But typically, if you are doing this on a PC, it's you can use a software like OBS to record your audio. So potentially, you could make a playlist of all of your favorite songs. Click on play, click on record, a bit like the old days of how I used to record things from the radio, and allow you to record wherever music's being played. Uh, Yes, I have. So yeah, so I have actually heard of that. That's fine. So if you do want to use the mouse toggle for the 4K Fire Stick Max, you can use the exact same version as the 4K Fire Stick. So I think the latest version of mouse toggle is, I think it's 1.12, but there is a version on my website. It may be a slightly older version, but it works on all Amazon devices, including the new 4K Fire Stick Max. Hey, Georgia, nice to see you as well. Uh, So I haven't actually used this application myself, but I've heard it's very, very good. So again, if you're looking for alternatives, this is a good option to check out. Okay, so guys, do keep the questions coming. I mean, I'm trying my best to get through all of them, but I think my eyes are getting a bit blurry. So funny enough, I actually reviewed this box and it did look very interesting. I don't have it. I don't have it at hand here, but if I remember correctly, it came with a really beefy remote control with so many buttons. It had a dedicated Ethernet port. I don't think the specs were that great in terms of CPU and RAM, but it definitely looked like a promising device. But overall, I think there haven't been any updates since then. I can't really recommend it. But if you do look on my channel, you will see a complete review for that particular device. Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, if you search on YouTube, you can find all sorts of videos which haven't been taken down yet. So yeah, it's unfair. It's just but this is it, because it's a private company, because they call the shots. they can literally do whatever they want. They can make whichever rules that they want, and we cannot do anything about it. So it's their system, their company, their policies, their rules. If you don't want to follow, find another platform. So which one were you trying to install? Because there's loads available which you can get directly from the Amazon App Store, and it's very easy to use. Okay, so next up we have Hey Technic, nice to see you on here. So I do recognize people. It's not just like so yeah, so I know Tech Scott is own channel as well. But the guidelines, I mean, I don't want to turn this into a guideline video, but I mean, I could speak for hours on them because there literally are so many new guidelines, so many things that could be potentially construed as now unsuitable for YouTube. And if they find your content meeting those guidelines, it's an instant removal of your video and a community guideline strike. And 3 strikes within a 90-day period, bang, instant channel delete. Yeah, this is, I mean, I don't want to go back and say the good old days, but there were the good old days on YouTube where you could literally make content on anything, you know, the K application, APKs, and all the stuff that I used to try and cover before. But unfortunately, all of that had to be removed. Yeah, I mean, this is you have to be very careful on how you word the application. Yep, suggestion is confirming that you can use the Wolf launcher on the 2nd generation Fire TV Cube. Yes, interesting enough. So, guys, do let me know how many of you still have the K application installed on your device and what do you use it for? I personally use it for local content only, but do let me know if you're using add-ons or builds or if you're not using the application at all. Okay, so we have a question here from Michael saying, so do you get an error message when you're trying to install it? Because I did actually cover this application months ago, but due to strikes on my channel, I had to remove pretty much any application or any video that was talking about streaming. So it's not ideal, but it could be possible that maybe you have a previous version on there. Okay, so we have some confirmation that Explore is definitely a great application to check out. I mean, I'll leave this to the rest of the audience to answer, but some of you prefer unlinked, some of you prefer file synced, and there's also app linked as well. So really, it's just personal preference. So I mean, they're fairly small in size. You can try them on your device. Actually, I just remembered. I think it was app link that was sold off to another developer. So I personally wouldn't recommend that. But with file synced and unlinked, you can easily check them out. If they work for you, then you can keep using them. Yeah. So next up we have okay, so this is because I've covered this before for Android TV devices. I'm actually going to do an update to this video, but there is a method using a new mouse toggle which will allow you to customize any button on your device and use that to activate your mouse toggle. So I mean, we're lucky on the Firestick devices that we have a play button, but on certain devices, like for example, the Chromecast with Google TV, because there's no play button, we can't use the traditional mouse toggle to activate the virtual mouse. But using this custom software, which I have covered before, you can basically map any button to use to start the virtual mouse. So do check out that video. Yeah, I appreciate you, Tim. So here we have a question from Eddie. So when you use Ipvanish in the split tunneling settings, do you check Ipvanish it? No. So you don't touch Ipvanish in those split tunneling settings. Basically, the applications you want to tick in there are the ones that you want to go outside of your VPN tunnel. So I'm sure you guys know anyway, but just a quick summary. When you activate your VPN client, your device, your Firestick, your NVIDIA Shield, it creates a secure tunnel from your device to a VPN server, whichever one you choose. Now, because of that tunnel, it means any application on your device, any traffic is now being sent to that through that VPN tunnel. In some cases, if you don't want to use a VPN for certain applications, but do want to use it for other applications, this is where you'd use the split tunneling feature. And what that means is if you tick, for example, if I always like to use a VPN connected to USA permanently, but if I try to use BBC iPlayer, that will tell me that you can't use BBC iPlayer with a USA IP address. So in that scenario, I would open up Ipvanish, go to the split tunneling feature, and tick BBC iPlayer. And what that means is, even when I activate the VPN, the traffic for BBC iPlayer will always go direct and allow me to access that service. Okay, that's that question there. So Redbox, as far as I know, it's of course an official application, not to be confused with the other non-official application, but the official one is designed for the USA audiences. Okay, so yeah, completely agree, Sharon. So it works with the K application, it works with third-party application, and really just it puts your whole streaming mode into premium. So what's my opinion on Stadia? So funnily enough, I don't know if I can reach it. I've actually purchased Google Stadia, but I haven't had a chance to set it up. But I think cloud gaming, whether you like it or not, is definitely the future. Just because the days of having, I have to have a really powerful PC or I have to be stuck at my PC to do any kind of gaming. I think those days are gone now. And the way technology is moving, as we move forward, it's just going to get less and less. So now it's all about, play any game, anytime, anywhere, on any device. So things like cloud gaming, I think they are going to get better and better. And with the main players being, the X Cloud from Microsoft, we have Google Stadia. There's also Shadow, which I've reviewed before, and also GeForce Now. So I can't give you my opinion of it just yet because I haven't used it properly, but I just think that definitely cloud gaming is the future. Yeah, see, so this is one of the issues I had as well, that in terms of just random freezing, I would notice that navigating around on the dashboard, just clicking on things, moving around, it would just lock up. And I wasn't using a custom launcher. I wasn't using any kind of expandable storage. I think the device was just very new, and with all things that are very new, you're bound to get bugs. Um, so this application, I think is one of the ones I covered last year. So it does have international content, but certain stuff is geo restricted. So as with all official applications and official channels, they do some kind of geo check to make sure that your IP address is allowed to access that channel. So it is worthwhile double checking to make sure that you are in a supported region. Um, I mean, I have thought about it, but it's just with a new platform, with new audience, it's just right now in the current stage, or my current stage, I think it's going to be too much. But the purpose of creating this second channel was that I do have a backup way of talking to you. So I'm very familiar with YouTube. I understand how things work, So for me to quickly get a video out or quickly let you know that something has happened, I'll just find it a lot easier to do it via YouTube than to use another platform. So this is why I created the TDUK or TechDoctorUK extra channel. So not only can I give you extra content, updates to older videos, but I can also have an avenue of talking to you in case something happens to my main channel. Yeah, so that's still on my website, which you can find in the tutorials page. So this is a great question. So what it is, when you format your drive, it does have to be FAT32, and then when you told the Firestick 4K Firestick Max or any of the Fire OS 7 devices that you are you want to make this as internal storage, it then does the format for you. So in some ways, it doesn't really matter what format it already is in. As soon as you select that you want to make this as internal storage, that stuff will, the Fire Stick will format that for you, and which then means you can then install applications to that internal storage and also move applications to it. The trouble is, once a drive is formatted as internal storage, you cannot use it in any other device. So if I take out the USB drive and try and plug it into my PC or into my any other computer or into my NVIDIA Shield, it'll come up as corrupted or unable to read, because as soon as you format a drive as internal storage, that drive becomes encrypted and you cannot use that drive on any other device other than the device where you did the initial format. And it also means, because somebody asked me this question recently, that if you do a factory reset of your device, that also means that you cannot access that drive anymore, because the encryption keys that were used to encrypt the drive have now also been wiped. So be wary of that if you are going to format your drive as internal storage. Hey, Steve, nice to see you on here. So not much has changed from my last video for me to really warrant doing an update, but the key thing you have to understand is that you can clone applications, which basically means that if I have two Fire Sticks, Fire Stick A, Fire Stick B, I can use that method to go to Fire Stick A and pull down all of the applications that are installed. It doesn't matter if I don't have the installation files, as long as they're running on Fire Stick A, I can pull those applications down to a USB drive or to another PC, and from that device, I can then push them onto Fire Stick B. Now, what you cannot do is transfer your settings. So your login information, maybe your customizations, any changes that you've made to these applications, because we don't have root access or admin access to the Fire Stick, we cannot pull down that information. But it's still a great way for you to back up your applications from one device to the other. Good night for the people that are going to sleep. I hope I'm not putting people to sleep. They are just, I mean, comments like this, I'm not going to read it. There's just, okay, fair enough. So just as a last resort option only. Okay, so Tim is more of a fan. He uses that for those things there. Both are fantastic devices. I mean, on the Fire TV Cube, as long as you don't have those Wi-Fi issues, as somebody else was saying, but somebody did ask me, they want me to do a comparison with the 4K Fire Stick Max to the Fire TV Cube, the second generation Fire TV Cube, and I said it's not even really, a fair battle, because the processor on the Fire TV Cube, it completely destroys the 4K Fire Stick Max, so it's way ahead. And when it was on special offer for £60, which I think was half price, it was an absolute bargain. So it is a great device. But if you are particularly interested in emulation, or if you prefer the Android TV ecosystem, then obviously the NVIDIA Shield is a great option as well. So I think in this case, both devices are very, very good, and it comes more down into personal preference. So the update blocker, the IP address that you have in there is actually your own IP address, and I think it does default to the local host IP address, which is just 127.0.0.1. So long as you have the IP address entered in there, you can make a connection to yourself, and then you can block those system updates. Okay, so here's one of my channel members asking. So this things like this, like changing the color of the individual text, or somebody else was asking how they can change the border when you highlight the applications. All these things could potentially be added, but really it's something for the developer to work on, and he's very busy at the moment, so I can't promise anything for now. But maybe we'll get a list of features, or things that lots of people are asking for, that I can take it to him and see if he can potentially add those. Yeah, completely agree. I mean, they were the good old days because you weren't limited on what you could say or what you could do. I mean, obviously, I wasn't going to make anything, dodgy, or you know, taking meth, or any of those things. But even a video, even showing somebody how to install Mobdro, or any free application, was back then it was fine, and now it's completely not allowed. Okay, so keeping going down. I appreciate that, and sorry if I said your name wrong. So here we have a question from Pocket Change. So I mean, over the years, I've used a bunch of third-party controllers, some from GameSir, some random ones from Amazon, but the ones I always go back to are the Xbox One controllers. I mean, the NVIDIA Shield game controller, the one that comes with the Pro one, this one here. I mean, that's a great controller anyway. It has got the Rumble pack, it's rechargeable and stuff. But if I had to choose a third-party controller, I would use the Xbox One. I mean, I know it's a bit expensive, but it's one of those things where you buy it once and then you're covered for at least a number of years. So, a question here from Cuban something. So, what browser would I recommend? So TV Bro works really well on both the Firestick and also Android TV devices. If you're just looking for a quick browser just to quickly download something, like maybe, for example, from our website, then just using the built-in browser in Downloader also works absolutely fine. Yep, I'm with you on that one. Okay, so Joe's saying that he had the 4K Fire Stick Max. He used USB storage, and when he now in this example, I don't know if you're using a custom launcher, but this is one of the reasons why, if you install a custom launcher to the USB drive, and if something happens to the USB drive or it becomes corrupted, that basically means that now you've disabled the stock launcher, and your Fire Stick can't access the USB drive to show the custom launcher, and you're in a bit of a pickle. So yeah, so this is why I would always recommend installing custom launchers to internal storage. If that's not the case for you, Joe, then you could just try doing a factory reset of the device. If nothing's coming up on the screen, then there's not really much else you can try. I think to do the factory reset, you hold down the left directional pad and hold down the back button for, I think, 10 seconds. Or if somebody can confirm in the comments how you can do a factory reset of your Fire Stick by using a key combination. Okay, no problem. Yep. So it is a very popular launcher. I mean, there are other launchers out there. I mean, there's the Leanback launcher, which is also being updated. Some people like the Simple TV launcher, but the main thing with these custom launchers is that you can obviously customize your home screen, but at the same time, Amazon can't push these adverts to your home screen, or these sponsored applications, sponsored content. And I mean, if you've bought the device yourself, then why can't I choose what applications are shown? Why can't I choose what I see on my home screen? So that's really the benefit of using these custom launchers, is that you basically regain control of your device. Yep, I can confirm that. Pocket Change. So yep, TV Bro is a great browser for your devices. So if you're asking about the second generation Fire TV stick, I do believe a mouse toggle did exist for that. So I know the first gen one, the one that had the very small remote control, I think even VPNs didn't work on that just because it was such an ancient device. It was very limited. But I think from the Fire OS 5, the second generation Fire TV stick and upwards, you can get mouse toggle working. Okay. Hey, Robert, nice to see you here. So I don't use this application myself, so I can't confirm. But if somebody else in the chat is using this, then maybe you guys can confirm. I know that it is a UK-based application, so if you're not in UK, you would have to use a VPN, and maybe it's detecting a VPN running in the background, which is why it's not working. Okay, so yeah, so this is why I purchased. It was a great offer, which was you get the official game controller and Chromecast Ultra for £20 instead of I think like £60. Okay, welcome. Appreciate you being here. So I don't have a Discord server at the moment. I do have a private Telegram group, which is for my channel members. But maybe in the future, I could potentially open up a Discord server as well. But I do think like this real time interaction, this real time talking, it's a nice way to talk to your community, to get feedback, to answer questions and stuff. So it's been good so far. Question here from Hey You. So well, let me put this to the chat. So you guys let me know what are the top 3 features you like to see on new streaming devices. Is it just more storage? Is it more CPU? Is it the ability to let me know your top 3 features in the chat. Okay, so lots of questions on this. Yeah, so here we can see that's still on offer, so a great price if you're looking for a powerful device. I mean, if you install the Unlinked and those applications, there's loads of streaming apps that can replace that app, and ultimately, without getting into all of the details, these applications are just like wrappers, or they're just like shells for because they don't host any content themselves. They just scrape content that's already out there. So if you have one or 2 at the most, there's no real need to have like 10 different applications, and they do more or less the same thing. So if you find one that works fine for you, then you don't need to have like 10 different ones on your device. Hey, what's up, man? Nice to see you here. So, I mean, again, for the people who've just joined, I definitely do recognize your people, the people that are leaving comments, the ones that do, talk on my videos, leave comments, like my videos and stuff. Even with my 250,000 subscribers, I definitely appreciate you. I do recognize your names. I do recognize your faces. So it's nice that you guys are here with me. Yep, agreed. So very easy to use. Get it directly from the Amazon App Store. Allows you to also sideload as well as use the built-in browser. Okay, so I think we're nearly at the top of the hour, guys. So I didn't want to drag on too long because I know it's Sunday night. So some of you may have work tomorrow, or you have stuff to do around the house. So let's try and wrap this up with a couple of final questions. No, I appreciate that, Eric. It's definitely been, I mean, it's a learning experience for me as well because I'm no live streaming expert. So, and it's completely different to, recording videos because when you record, you can edit, you can cut out, you can tweak and stuff. But this is real time, conversation. So that way it is different. But I've enjoyed it. And, if I've helped you guys out, if I've answered your questions, then for me, that's definitely worth it. All right. So let's just do the last 5 questions. So, for which things can we use a VPN on Android TV? So super quickly, a VPN has multiple purposes. Probably the easiest one or the obvious one is allows you to mask your activity from your ISP because as soon as you make a connection to your VPN server, everything on your device is now being encrypted. So whether you're using applications or browsing websites, your ISP won't be able to see your particular traffic. The other main purpose of using a VPN is to unlock or bypass geo restrictions. So certain applications may not be available for you depending on your location. So here we can see you're based in Germany. If you try to use TubiTV, which is a great free application, but it's only designed for the USA audiences. So if you install the application on your device and try to open it, it'll give you an error saying that Tubi TV is not available in Europe or in Germany. But if you now activate your VPN, set your VPN location to USA, you'll then be able to access that content. So privacy and basically unblocking or unlocking geolocked content. Okay, so okay, that's good to know. Crazy Cuban, no worries. All right, so I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so a few more questions, and they've not said anything to me directly, but all of the previous. I mean, I think over the years I've done like I think 3 separate workarounds on how we can use a custom launcher. The oldest one was using ADB. The second one was using the accessibility services, and the third one is the current one. And in every case, wherever I worked out or got working, after a couple of updates from Amazon, that process stopped working. So I don't know if they're watching my videos, but definitely they are somehow blocking the methods that we're finding. Do I know if I would? I was going to say something, but I can't. So this VPN, I think it's a new VPN. I know Doc Swiffy has reviewed this on his channel, and he says it's fine to use. So, if you are already following that guy, you can check it out. But with all things, I always think it's advisable for you to do your own research, try it out, see if it's suitable for you. If it looks good for you, then you can give it a go. But I personally have not used it myself. And personally, if I just want to add a bit more info, I would not use a VPN, or I don't use a VPN myself, a free one. So this one, I don't know where you're watching the streams from. So certain websites, they look at your browser user agent, and then they shape the content accordingly. So I know, for example, you can edit TV Bro or change the settings and change your browser user agent so that the website that you're going to will now think that you're using the Chrome desktop browser or using a different browser. So it may be worthwhile trying to change your browser agent and see if that fixes the problem. I really appreciate that, Sharon. Yes, lots of you are saying regarding the features for your ideal or upcoming streaming device, you want more storage, you want less adverts, more CPU and storage, more storage. Yeah, so this one I will be looking to do an update hopefully very soon, because lots of you left comments on how you got it working on your Xiaomi Mi boxes, on your TiVo streams and some of these other boxes. So I will be doing an update to that, which will show you different buttons that you can use on your remote control to activate your virtual mouse. I mean, iPad or like any Apple devices are severely locked out. So although you can do some things to sideload certain things, but it's not straightforward. Probably the best bet if you are looking for free content is to use websites. So you can do a quick Google on Reddit for streaming websites, and more or less, if they work in a browser, they'll work on your iPad. Okay, so yeah, more RAM. Hello, Stephen. Now, let me just stop the stream and say a big shout out to Dazzle, another one of my regular commenters. Always, has something to say. I appreciate his support. So it's always nice to see you guys on my stream. I mean, here's pretty much the summary, isn't it? So for any new streaming device, we want more storage, better CPU, and just overall better performance. That's fine. That's okay. Even if you don't comment, it's fine. I'm just saying that there are certain people that do regularly comment, and I definitely know who you are, and I do appreciate it. So this is my first live stream on this channel. I have done a couple, I think only about 2 or 3 on my original Tech Doctor channel, but this is definitely the channel where I'm going to be doing these live streams as well as updates to those other videos. And this is going to be the backup for my main channel. So I do appreciate you guys joining me on this side. And I'm hoping that I can get this channel to 10,000 subscribers. I know it sounds like a bit of a mountain, but hopefully I can get that soon. And hopefully if you share my videos, share this live stream, that will help me achieve that target. All right, so the last few questions, guys, because I think we have crossed the 1 hour. Yeah, I think we're just over. Nice to see these familiar names. Appreciate you. So how many custom launchers are there to try? So if you look on my tutorials page, I think I've got 3 on that particular tutorial. So there's the lean back launcher, the wolf launcher, and I think there's the simple TV launcher as well. So do check that out. No, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so last few questions, and then we'll call it we'll say that's a wrap for this show. But all right, so last 2 questions now. So okay, appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good night. This is an interesting point. So a true kill switch, which means that as soon as your VPN drops for whatever reason, that should instantly block your traffic. Yeah, so the ATV launcher, for the people that don't know, the ATV launcher is no longer in development and hasn't been in development for like 5+ years. So a very popular launcher, as you guys know. So what Swinwolf did was he took that launcher, which has had no updates for the last 5+ years, and he basically tweaked it, enhanced it, fixed loads of bugs in there, and then renamed it as the Wolf launcher. So this is why if you already have the ATV launcher installed, you cannot install Wolf launcher on the same device. And the last question is, have you ever gotten a no, but what you can do, Eric, is one of the options in the Wolf launcher, if you go to more settings, is you have the ability to clear your icon or your banner cache. So if that has built up, or if that does have any kind of anomalies in there, clearing that cache and then holding down the play and the select button for 10 seconds will allow you to clear out that cache, and that should then fix out that issue. So on that note, guys, let me just say a big thanks for all of you joining my first ever live stream on the Tech Doctor UK Extra channel. Really appreciate your support. If I have answered your question, I'm really happy that I've been able to do that. If I couldn't get to your question because there was just a lot in the chat, I do apologize, but hopefully if I can do this again next week or hopefully in the next few days, I'll try and answer the other questions. So really appreciate your support. It's been enjoyable for me. It's great to see these familiar names in my chat again. And I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.